Hi humans, my name is Mark Williams and I was so happy to work with Awaken Pittsburgh and Children's Hospital and all of the wonderful families and children that came out to spend time with us in the park last week. But I did hear that not everybody was able to join. So I wanted to make a video that just touched on some of the things we did last week so you won't feel like you missed out. And one of the things we did is we started with a bit of a quiz. Yeah, that's right. It might feel like summer, but school's in session right now. So here's the quiz. You need to, okay, you don't have to. If you want to participate in this quiz, just raise your hand anytime you hear something you've done today in this song I'm about to sing. Okay, so this song talks about a few things that we do to get ready in the morning. And if you hear something that you did, I want you to raise your hand. Are you ready? It's a really simple quiz, no pressure. Here we go. When you wake up, make your bed, brush your teeth and hair, wash your face and underarms and change your underwear. When you wake up, make your bed, brush your teeth and hair. That's a simple way to say just how much you care. Well, you're worth taking care of. Please believe it's true. You're worth taking care of, so I'm taking care of you. You're worth taking care of each and every day. You're worth taking care of, that's the reason you will hear me say, when you wake up, make your bed, brush your teeth and hair. That's a simple way to say just how much you care. How did you do? Did you make your bed? Did you brush your teeth? Did you brush your hair? Did you wash your face and underarms? Did you put on clean underwear? Well, no matter what you did, you got that quiz 100% correct. How's that possible? Even if you didn't do anything, that's exactly right. Because you were honest with how you did. This was all a quiz about, can you start where you are? Exactly the way that you are. That's why we're meeting over the course of these weeks. We're meeting to talk about ways we can care for ourselves and care for each other. One way we care for ourselves is by brushing our teeth, is by combing our hair, is by washing our bodies, is by putting on clean clothes. It's a way of teaching ourselves that we deserve to be cared for, that we deserve to be clean and fresh, smell good, look good. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. But there's something else we can do to care for ourselves. We can care for our minds and our hearts and our emotions. And that's what this book was about. I'm not going to read it. We did read it together when we were in the park, but I believe you all have a copy of that, and you could read it on your own. And this book talks a little bit about our minds, and it kind of makes a metaphor or an analogy. It describes our minds as puppies. Does anybody here have a puppy? I have 2 puppies. And let me tell you, when I'm walking my puppies and they see a squirrel, oh my goodness. They pull the leash so hard it almost jerks my arms out of their socket. And I have to pull real hard to get them to come back. And then we go back to walking. And if we're walking and they see another dog, sometimes they'll start to bark and they'll run off in that direction and I have to pull them back. Unless, of course, I bring with me my top secret ingredient. My top secret ingredient for a successful walk is a treat in my pocket. And I pull out that treat and I tell them to sit, and no matter what's going on around them, they focus on that treat. And they sit. And then I give them the treat and I scratch them behind their ears, and they're able to focus. Now, we're not puppies, and we can't give ourselves treats to focus. But this book did give us a tool that we can use to help focus our minds, calm our minds, so that we can pay better attention. And that tool that they described in this book is called 3 deep breaths. And I want to invite you to try that with me if you're willing, if you're interested. All you need to do is notice your breathing. Are you breathing in through your nose or your mouth? Are you breathing in shallow or deep? And now for the next 3 breaths, we're going to breathe in extra slow. And we're going to breathe out slowly too. It can be helpful to breathe in like you're smelling a flower. And then breathe out like you're blowing bubbles through a bubble wand. You can try that one more time. And checking in with yourself. How do you feel after taking those 3 deep breaths? I feel a little more calm. I feel a little less fidgety, and it's easier for me to focus. This is a very simple tool, and it can fit in any pocket. It can fit in any backpack. In fact, it can fit in the palm of your hand. It's a tool that you take with you in your mind. Anytime you're noticing that it's hard for you to focus, it's hard for you to calm down, it can be helpful to try taking 3 deep breaths. That was the first thing we did when we were at the park. The second thing we did was turn into superheroes. Not just any superheroes, spidey superheroes. We had a park filled with Spider-Men and Spider-Women and Spider-Boys and Spider-Girls who had super spidey senses. Would you like to find out how you can tap into your own super spidey senses? Well, if you would, here's how. First, we need to think about what are all of our senses. There's 5 of them. We have the sense of hearing. We have the sense of seeing. We have the sense of smelling. We have the sense of touching. And we have the sense of tasting. Our 5 senses. And in order to activate our spidey senses, all you have to do is imagine. Are you ready? So the first spidey sense we're going to tap into is our super spidey sense of hearing. In order to awaken this super spidey sense, you need to unlock that ability. And here's how you unlock it. By taking 3 deep breaths and focusing on what you hear. Are you ready? Okay, here we go. Breathing in and out. Unlocking your spidey sense of hearing. It can be helpful to allow your eyes to close if you want. You don't have to, but you can try it out if you want to. And now, just focus on what you can hear. I hear an airplane outside, and my children laughing downstairs. I hear hear somebody starting a car outside. I hear an air conditioner in the other room. What can you hear? It's amazing what you can notice when you turn on your super sense of spidey hearing. Now, let's turn on our super sense of spidey vision by taking 3 deep breaths and focusing on what we can see. Maybe paying extra careful attention to something that we normally would just walk right by without noticing. You can even do this activity while you're walking in nature. That's how we did it in the park. But you can do it sitting exactly where you are. I'm going to take 3 deep breaths and turn on my spidey eyesight. And I'm going to invite you to try that too if you want. Here we go. Now that your spidey sight is activated, see what you can notice. See if you can find something that could fit in the palm of your hand. And bring it back here. See what we can find. Oh, look what I found. You might be thinking that's just an ordinary pencil. Well, it is. But it's not just an ordinary pencil when I use my spidey sense of sight. Wow. I can see there's an interesting shape on the end of my pencil. Look at that. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sides. And there's a gray circle in the middle. And right in the middle, there's an interesting pattern on the end of the wood. If I hadn't been using my spidey vision, I might have never noticed that. Now, with our spidey sense of hearing and our spidey sense of sight unlocked, let's tap into our spidey sense of touch. We could even use that sense on the object we just found. Remember how you turn it on? Let's take 3 deep breaths and focus on what we can feel. I'm going to keep my eyes closed for this one so that I can focus just on my spidey sense of touch. I notice that the edge is kind of rough near the end of this pencil. And the main part of the pencil is very smooth. Oh, and I can feel the texture of the words that are written on it. I can even tell when the wood turns into metal without my eyes open, just by touching. And I can tell when I touch the rubber of the eraser. All with my spidey sense of touch. Now the last one we're going to work on now is the spidey sense of smell. Here's how we're going to unlock it. 3 deep breaths. I bet you knew that. And after taking 3 deep breaths, I'm going to see if I can notice anything else about this object just with my nose. Here we go. You ready? Try it out if you want to. I can smell the graphite, the center of this pencil. The smell gets stronger at this end. If I rub the eraser, there's a faint smell that reminds me of school. It's the same smell I would get when I would erase my mistakes on paper. All of these things are things I would have never noticed if I hadn't been paying close attention with my spidey senses. The spidey sense activity is a great one to do at mealtime, because if you do it at mealtime, you can even try out your spidey sense of taste. And I will challenge you, your next snack time or next mealtime, try activating your spidey sense of taste. Remember how? Take 3 deep breaths. And then just take one small bite and notice everything you can about that food. See what happens. Tell somebody what you think about it. The last thing we did last week was a very fun activity that our friend Missy taught us. It was all about planting seeds and then giving them everything they need to grow. What do seeds need to grow? They need soil, they need sunlight, they need water, and all of those things give the seed energy to grow. So for this activity, it works really great if you're standing up. Do you want to stand up and stretch it out? Oh. And shake it out. And for this activity, you're going to need 1 magic seed. The great thing about magic seeds is I can give them to you right through the screen. You ready? Here they come. Now take your magic seed, and we're going to lay it at the ground right by our feet. Bending over. Oh. And now using our breath, we're going to breathe some energy into that seed so it can grow. The energy that the soil gives it and the sun and the water, it's going to come from our breath. Breathing in and out. Breathing in and out. Oh, what's this? The seed is growing roots from the energy we gave it. Can you feel the roots growing down from the seed? They're growing down into the earth below you. Let's breathe some more energy into the seed and see if we can get a tiny shoot to poke its head up out of the ground. You ready? Notice how the shoot is growing up, 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 up past your toes and your ankles. Next breath, that shoot is growing up past your knees. The shoot is growing up past your belly and shoulders. With each breath, the energy that seed needs is helping it to grow all the way up to the top of your head. Now, imagining that we are that plant. Can you make your hands into a flower bud that's growing right at the top of your head? With these next few breaths, sending energy to the bud, noticing as it opens and blooms. What color is your flower? Does it stay small? Or does it grow even bigger? What shape does your plant make? Mine looks like this, I think. And on the last breath, opening your eyes and checking in with yourself. I'd invite you to notice how you're feeling. Are you calm? Are you excited? Are you nervous? Are you anxious? Are you happy? Are you sad? However you're feeling is perfectly fine. And if you didn't like this activity, that's okay too. Here's something beautiful about mindfulness. There are hundreds of ways to practice, and we're going to learn new ways to practice every week. So if you didn't like this activity, that's fine. If you loved it, that's fine too. And if you thought, it was all right, that's great. No matter how you're feeling, no matter what you're thinking right now, you, my friend, look right here. I'm looking at you. You, exactly the way you're feeling right now, exactly the way you are, you, my friend, are completely awesome. Bye for now.